One more day here in Pearl, Mississippi, here at Trustmark Park, as it is game 6 of 6 between the Mississippi Mud Monsters and the Evansville Otters. Well, the Otters last night ended up winning their third straight game, taking home a 7-5 victory over the Mud Monsters. They scored 1 in the first. It was a bit of a back-and-forth contest as Mississippi scored 2 in the bottom half of the first inning. Evansville tied in the third. Mississippi took the lead in the bottom half yet again. Otters tied it up in the fourth inning as it was kept going back and forth, but the Otters ended up pulling away in the fifth inning. They scored 4 runs in that frame. We saw Pierce driving in Marcos Gonzalez. He scored from first on that single to shallow center field, and he scored himself on a wild pitch. And then John Ponder hit a 2-run single that brought in Linscott and Salvaggio to make it 7-3, and that was all they needed. Mississippi did bring a couple of runs home in the bottom of the fifth inning and the bottom of the seventh, but the Otters ended up going the distance and getting the victory. Junior Serta getting his second straight win, and Nate Wolgamuth getting his second save of the season. John Walsh getting the loss for Mississippi. We saw a couple of 3-hit games there. Ponder went 3 for 5, drove in 3 runs. Marcos Gonzalez went 3 for 5 as well. Dennis Pierce hit his team-leading 11th homer of the season. And everybody was doing well offensively yesterday as they finished with 7 runs on 13 hits. We'll see if they could do the same here today in game 6 of 6. With a win today, the Otters will take the series. The 6-gamer, they've already taken the season series after the win yesterday, but they're looking for their 4th straight win and their 4th straight road win for the first time this season. They have won 3 straight road games twice. They have not won 4 straight quite yet. Win would also put them at 14 games over 500 at 39-25, which would be a season high tied with back when they were 33-19. But it's been an overall good series for Evansville. They dropped the first 2 games in close fashion, but since then they've won the next 3, including the 7-5 win yesterday. We have a interesting little lineup shift in the defense shift on the side of Andy McCauley's squad with the Otters. For the first time this season, Marcos Gonzalez is playing second base. So we'll see how he does there. Dennis Pierce is at third for the second time this year. We saw him at third for the first time on Wednesday. So he's back at third today. Mark Black's in left field. He's usually in right field slash catching as of recent, but he's also hitting ninth as TJ Salvaggio and Logan Brown are getting the day off. So Dirksen will be behind the plate today for Evansville. Mark Black hitting ninth for the first time this season. So a lot of switches, a lot of interesting switches, but hopefully it works out for Evansville. This is a Evansville squad that has now not committed an error in 3 straight games, which is also a season high. So the defense has been performing very well in these past 3 victories. We saw them commit multiple errors in the first 2. A little bit of a correlation there between errors committed and losses on the board. With no errors, they're 20-6 this season. With an error, they're 18-19. On the other side, Mississippi, not too many changes on their side. It's Vantrell Reed getting his first start since coming off the IL, but he's playing third base for the first time this season. He's usually a second baseman. But he's starting. He's hitting in the 9-hole, and Correll Paz keeps on moving down in the order. He started the series hitting third, moved down to 5th, then down to 6th, and now he's hitting 7th. as he has had a rough series, 2 for 19 in these first 5 games. Pitching matchup is the same as it was on Tuesday. It's Garrett Simpson against Brian Williams. Mississippi ended up winning that game by a run, but neither pitcher was involved in the decision, even though Williams had a season high 7 2/3 innings, a career day on the bump on Tuesday for Williams, as he threw 7 2/3 innings, which is his career high, and it's also his only game this season with no earned runs given up. He gave up 2 runs, neither of them were earned, and Williams put together one of, if not his best starts of the season. So it's a little bit of a pitcher's duel on Tuesday. Hopefully we get another good pitcher's duel today between Williams and Simpson. Otters are heading home after this. It's gonna be a long one. Back to Evansville. We have a day off before we play New York, starting on Tuesday. The New York Boulders. Playing another Atlantic Conference team. Did get swept by Sussex County before the All-Star break, so the Otters looking to do a little better against the Boulders in the East Division compared to Sussex County. The Otters are only playing East Division sides when they play the Atlantic Conference, the New York Series this week, and then the last week of the season at Down East. Take a look at our umpires for today. Dylan Self is behind the dish, calling the balls and strikes for the second time this series, with the crew chief Jose Muriente at first and Wes Dunkel at third. Here in game 6 of 6. We're the last game today, so we already have a couple of games that are finished. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, as Sussex ended up just beating New York 6-5. They were up 6-0, and New York made a valiant effort at a comeback, but couldn't pull it off in the end. So New York is heading from Augusta, New Jersey to Evansville for that series. Lake Erie got blown out by Gateway, 9-1. Samuel Benjamin was a position player pitching in that game, and he made a nice web gem. Schaumburg almost had another comeback. Last night, they were down 6 in the 9th with 2 outs, and they ended up winning 8-7. A fantastic comeback from them. But they couldn't pull it off this time. They lose 4-3 against Joliet. Florence scores 1 in the 9th, and they beat Windy City 6-5. Brockton and Washington, it was 5-3. Washington scores 2 unanswered to make it 5-5, and now they're in extra innings in the 10th. Brockton looking to win the series against Washington. It would help Evansville's chances in the division race as well. Down East is up on Quebec 6-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And New Jersey, Tri-City tied up, 5-3 New Jersey. That literally just changed as I saw it. It was 3-3, now it's 5-3. Ottawa is beating Troyes in Twadowa series 4-2. That's all we got, really. A lot of the early games are the latest game in indie ball right now. No other games starting this late, so later on in the later innings, we're going to be the standalone game, not only in the Frontier League, but everywhere in indie ball. So it should be a fun one here. Some Sunday night baseball, as Mississippi coming out onto the field. They're wearing the teal jerseys today. In the teal jerseys so far this season, they're 7-18. So not necessarily the best when they're wearing the uniforms. The uniforms not necessarily mattering too much, though. The Otters are wearing the blue, in which they won yesterday in them. 8-10 in those uniforms for Evansville. But we'll hit the anthem, and after that, first pitch from Pearl on the Otters Digital Network. Here we go for game 6 of 6 from Pearl, Mississippi. Take a look at the Mud Monsters defense. It's Booker in left field with Braylon Skinner in center. Tevis Payne is in right field with Vantrell Reed at third, Josh Shelley at short, AJ Fritz at second, Corell Paz at first, Victor Diaz doing the catching for Brian Williams. Take a look at the batting order first for the visiting Evansville Otters. John Ponder, Amani Jones, the top two yet again, as Amani Jones is at shortstop. TJ Salvaggio getting the day off. Dennis Pierce is at third today, hitting third. Marcos Gonzalez at second base in the cleanup spot. B-Rob's at first. LG Castillo is the DH, hitting sixth. Dre Dirksen is catching, batting seventh. Sam Linscott is batting eighth, and Mark Black in left field, hitting ninth. On the other side, Braylon Skinner, Kyle Booker, AJ Fritz, top three as usual. Then Victor Diaz doing the catching in the cleanup spot. Samuel De La Rosa is the DH, batting fifth. Tevis Payne is in right field, hitting sixth. Corell Paz hitting seventh. Shelley hitting eighth. And Vantrell Reed hitting ninth. Brian Williams had a fantastic performance on Tuesday in a Mud Monsters win in the first game of the series. They had a good first couple of games, Mississippi did, but the Otters have taken the last three. And Williams is at a 6.03 ERA and 74 and 2/3 innings, leads Mississippi in innings pitched by a pretty wide margin. He's at a 2-6 record. He's given up 87 hits, 50 earned, 26 walks compared to 59 strikeouts, and he does give up a lot of homers as well, 11 of them this season, including 4 in his last 5 outings. He's having a very good July, though. Lowest ERA by far this month compared to the other two. May he had a 7.09 ERA. In June, 6.43, and now in July, 20 innings in July, a 4.05. Whip all the way down from a 1.61 to a 1.15. So John Ponder leading off here in the top of the first inning. Otters looking to win the series and go 14 games over for the first time. First time since being 33-19. Grounder to third. Early test for Reed, and he bobbles it. So Ponder will reach. Well, not a great start for Reed at third base, playing third for the first time this season. His first game after coming off the IL, it will be called an E5. Now, Ponder had a 3-for-5 day yesterday. Drove in 3 runs, helped with the 7-5 victory. Monty Jones now, the runner on first. High fly ball into right field. Tevis Payne going back, and he'll make the catch for out number 1, as Ponder will head back to first base. Ponder stole 2 bases yesterday, 23 of 35 now, as Dennis Pierce will stand in. Well, Dennis Pierce has been all around the lineup so far this series, but he's back in his normal 3 spot. 43rd game, by far the most he's played here, hitting third. First pitch called a strike. Pierce this season 0-for-6 with a strikeout against Williams. As now that Williams has faced off against the Otters so much. 3 starts now. A lot of at-bats for the guys offensively against Williams. Throw back to first is not in time. So back on Tuesday, Williams threw 7 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, no earned, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. It was in a real dogfight with Garrett Simpson in terms of the pitching. Runner goes, called a strike, though to second on a hop is not in time as Ponder steals second base. Stolen base number 24 on the year for Ponder as he extends his team lead. And it's not particularly close. Second most is TJ Salvaggio, 15. But also TJ is 15 for 15, so he definitely does get some kudos for not getting caught yet. 1-1. High and inside for ball 2. Now, Pierce drove in 2 runs yesterday, hit a homer, his 11th of the year. Opposite field over to the Budweiser sign in right field. The 2-1. Grounder to deep short, long throw to first is not in time as it's bobbled at first by Paz, and taking third is Ponder. It was a tough one there for Shelley, and probably should have just ate it, not have thrown it over to first, and it cost him as Ponder heads over to third base on the throw. And Dennis Pierce has an infield single. So runners at the corners with 1 out for Marcos Gonzalez. Had a 3-for-5 day yesterday. Didn't drive in any runs, though. First pitch, called a strike. Gonzalez now hitting at a 326 after his 3-hit day yesterday. It was his 10th 3-hit game, which leads the squad. So far in this series, Gonzalez is 7 for 20. Foul tip, and it's 1-1. Sorry, 0-2. Ponder on third, Pierce on first, 1 out. Otters trying to score in the first inning for the 3rd straight game. 0-2. Just misses outside. And that's ball 1. A great take from Gonzalez. Lives to see another pitch here. He does lead the team in strikeouts, now at 53 after 2 more yesterday. 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Gonzalez goes down swinging first K of the day for Williams, and that's a big out number 2 for Mississippi in the top of the first inning. So Blake Robertson will try to bring in a run here with 2 outs. Otters, of course, good with 2-out hitting. Robertson, 11 2-out RBIs this season. First pitch from Williams is called a strike. It is B-Rob's 42nd game of the season. He missed a good few after being on the IL. His first game back, though, he went 1 for 4, hit a double. Oh, 1. Fouls one off himself, and it's 0-2. Well, Williams, in his start on Tuesday, was pitching very efficiently, gave up a lot of early count hitting, as well as striking out 6, which allowed him to go into the 8th inning. 0-2. A little low, and it's 1-2. And even with the 2 runners on, Williams is only on pitch number 14. It also helps with the Otters doing a lot of first pitch swinging. Seems as though they've been doing that all series against Mississippi. The 1-2. Check swing foul as Robertson just pokes it away to stay alive here. 22 RBIs for Robertson so far this season. Has reached base in his last 18 games, which is a team high. Not a season high for the Otters, as Ponder reached in his first 30 games. 1-2. That one's going to get past Diaz. Here comes Ponder to the plate, and the Otters take a 1-0 lead. So the wild pitch brings Ponder in from third, and the Otters, for the 3rd straight game, have scored in the first inning. Pierce moving up to second base as well. He's in scoring position. So the wild pitch comes back to bite Williams as the Otters strike first. 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Williams strikes out both Gonzalez and Robertson to end the inning, but a wild pitch brings in Ponder from third, and the Otters have an early 1-0 lead heading to the bottom of the first inning. First inning is brought to you by the Mesker Park Zoo and Botanical Gardens. Visit the Mesker Park Zoo at 1545 Mesker Park Drive in Evansville, Indiana. I'm going to be checking up on this Washington-Brockton game. It's sudden death. Both teams scored a run in the 10th inning, and so they're now in the 11th. Not too sure who is pitching and who is not, but figure that out later. Defense for the Otters: Mark Black in left field, John Ponder in center, Lynn Scott in right field. Dennis Pierce is at third with Amani Jones at short, Marcos Gonzalez at second, and at first, Blake Robertson with Dre Dirksen doing the catching for Garrett Simpson. Simpson has a 4.42 ERA in 57 innings. He pitched very well on Tuesday. 6 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts in the 3-2 loss against Mississippi in the first game of the series. Braylon Skinner up first as he rips one foul off to the right side. When everything is said and done, I'm sure Braylon Skinner and Kyle Booker are very friendly gentlemen, but I'm very glad that this is the last game this regular season we have to see them, because they have been torturing the Otters pitching staff. Fly ball into right field, and Lynn Scott makes the catch out there. Even that one, that was still 102 off the bat, a hard hit ball. Just keeps on making good contact against the Otters. That was after a 4-for-5 day yesterday with 3 doubles. And Kyle Booker, the same, not 4 hits, but 2 for 5, hit a homer, drove in 2 runs. These 2 guys are scary, man. They're scary. First pitch called a strike. Booker now on a 10-game hitting streak after his 2 for 5 yesterday. His 17th game with multiple RBIs. That's into left field and dropping in front of Mark Black as Kyle Booker has himself a base hit. It's just so hard to get them out. It's just so hard. Can't do it. No, at least not too often. AJ Fritz, he had a 2 for 5 day. Everybody in the top 4, Skinner, Booker, Fritz, and Diaz had a multi-hit game yesterday. Otters still ended up winning though, 7-5. Fouled off to the right side. The last 3 games, the top of the lineup's been fine. It's been the bottom half that has really been struggling. Paz being at the top at first, but now being a part of that bottom. Fritz, though, struggling a little bit, even though he went 2 for 5 yesterday, he's still 4 for 21 in the series and 5 for 33 in his last 9 games. One. A little outside for ball 2. Booker 18 for 23 on stolen bases. We've seen him steal his fair share of them in this series. 2-1. That one's going to get past Dirksen, and taking second base is Booker on a good read. He'll advance into scoring position here, trying to tie the game up at 1. Fritz is hitting better on the road than at home, 313 compared to 298. All 5 of his home runs have been on the road. Does have one of those home runs against Evansville. High fly ball. It's going to get out of play, foul, and it's 3-2. Take a look at a lot of the players' home and away splits in terms of home run hitting, and you'll see that a majority of them are on the road. Kyle Booker has a home run in this series, his 7th. His other 6 were on the road. And Diaz, both of his home runs are on the road. It's just hard to hit a bomb here. Fly ball into right center field. Lynn Scott will call off Ponder and make a catch while almost tumbling over, so Booker will take third easily, but that's out number 2. Now Victor Diaz up with a runner on third and 2 outs as Simpson tries to get out of things here, scoreless in the first. So there's only 2 guys on Mississippi's offense that have more homers at home than on the road, as there's a fly ball into shallow center field. Ponder will make the catch, and that's out number 3. Those 2 guys are Skinner and Caston Furr, who's been on the IL all series, so we haven't seen him quite yet. Scoreless first for Garrett Simpson will head to the second inning, 1-0 Otters on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the second inning here at Trustmark Park. LG Castillo, Dre Dirksen, and Sam Linscott are leading off here against Williams. Gave up a run in the first inning on a wild pitch that scored Ponder from third, and Garrett Simpson had a man on third with 2 outs, but got Diaz to fly out to end the threat. So the Otters still up 1-0. LG Castillo hitting very well when he leads off an inning. 371, currently at a 13 for 35. So you See what he can do here, trying to get on to lead off the second inning. Castillo overall hitting at a 346 after his first game of the series yesterday. He went 2 for 4. Multi-hit game number 17. First pitch from Williams is called a strike. Castillo, 17th round draft pick out of Lancaster Central High School, originally from Buffalo. Read somewhere that the nickname is the Buffalo Basher, but I don't think I've heard anybody call him that yet. So I might have to ask. I might have to ask him what he thinks about that nickname. Because technically LG is already a nickname. So does he need a nickname for the nickname? Maybe. Maybe we can make it a thing. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And Williams strikes out Castillo on 3 pitches. That's his 3rd straight strikeout. 2 to end the first, 1 to start the second. And there's 1 out. So 1 down, and Dre Dirksen will make his first appearance to the plate. So far this series, he's 3 for 9. He's only played in 2 games on Wednesday and Friday. Now here on Sunday. First pitch called a strike. Dirksen is 3 for 9. All 3 of those hits have been doubles. He has 4 hits overall this season with the Otters, and 3 of them have been doubles, including 2 on Friday. 2 for 5 day with 2 RBIs. Check swing did go around, and it's 0-2. We've seen Dirksen perform very well defensively behind the plate. Now Williams close to a 4th straight strikeout. His season high is 10. Just misses outside. Good take from Dirksen. And it's 1-2. Williams had 10 strikeouts against Washington. A good Washington offense. He mowed down in 6 innings. 1 earned run, 3 walks, 10 Ks, but earned the loss because it was a 2-1 game that Mississippi ended up dropping. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. Dirksen from a very small town, Spicer, Minnesota. Population 1,112 at the most recent census. Pretty small place. Pretty small place. 2-2 from Williams. Low and away for ball 3, so Dirksen goes 0-2 to 3-2 here. Long at bat, Williams wasn't really struggling with the pitch count in his start on Tuesday. Might be something to watch out for here. He's already 25 pitches in. That is ball 4. And Dirksen with a nice at-bat, going from 0-2 to a walk. First walk issued by Williams today, and man on first with 1 out brings up Sam Linscott. That game on Tuesday was also the only game that Williams has pitched this season where he didn't walk anybody. The season high in walks, though, is 4 from May 24th against Schaumburg and July 9th against Joliet. Dirksen doesn't have a stolen base attempt quite yet this season as Linscott takes a strike. Linscott on a 10-game hitting streak after going 1 for 2 with a walk yesterday. The 0-1. Fouled away off to the right side, and it's 0-2. Now, Linscott now surpassing his season high in terms of the hit streak. He has an 8-gamer, he has a 9-gamer, which was from May 29th to June 11th, but now 10 is the new season high for him. 0-2. High and inside as it causes Linscott to lean back a little bit, makes it 1-2. Well, both of these guys, Williams and Linscott, originally starting their professional careers in the Pioneer League. 1-2. Fouled off the mask of Diaz. And Linscott will stay in there. Another 1-2. Williams was with Idaho Falls a couple of years. Played with his brother Darian, who they were on the same pitching staff for that season. Also pitched a game for Oakland in 2024, the Ballers. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and now 4 strikeouts for Williams as he gets Linscott swinging for out number 2. I'm not sure if anybody saw this from, speaking of Idaho Falls. The Idaho Falls Chuckers they had one heck of a game yesterday against Great Falls. If you take a look at the website here for the Pioneer League, you take a look. They won by a final score of 40-18. 40 runs, apparently a Pioneer League record in terms of runs scored. They beat Great Falls 40-18. Absolutely insane scoreline, first off. Secondly, they scored 11 runs in the first inning, then 4 in the second, 3 in the third, and 5 in the fourth. Which means by the fourth inning, it was 29-6. And then they scored 9 more in the sixth. So it was 38-12 in the sixth inning. 2-1 to Mark Black. Just absolutely insane stuff coming from the Pioneer League. And especially Brian Williams' old team. Had a 7.53 ERA and 69 and a third innings there in 2024. And now they're scoring 40 runs in a game. 1-2. Take a look a little deeper into the stats here. We had a guy go 5 for 8 with 8 RBIs. The guy went 5 for 7 with 7 RBIs. Actually, 2 of them went 5 for 7 with 7 RBIs. You had a guy go 2 for 5 but get 6 ribbies. 4 for 6 with 5 ribbies. Just, yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Little tangent right there. There's a blooper into right field for a base hit. Running first to third is Dirksen. And it's a single for Mark Black. That'll put runners at the corners with 2 outs. Now back to the top of the lineup in John Ponder. Now, Ponder reached on an error at third by Reed. That error came back to bite Mississippi as he ended up coming around to score what is still the only run today. Now, Mississippi already hit 2 errors today. First and third, 2 outs, Ponder. Facing off against Williams. Throw back is not in time over to first. After the error, Ponder still 0 for 8 against Williams this season. Has a walk, has a strikeout. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. So when committing an error this season, Mississippi is 14-26. When they don't, rises to 13-12. So definitely a bigger chance of an L here for Mississippi when they commit an error, and they have 2 already. Chance for the Otters to extend their lead here, though, with runners at the corners. Last time this happened in the first inning, Williams threw a wild pitch that scored Ponder from third. Might have to watch out for that yet again. The 1-1. Grounder over to second base. It's Fritz. He'll throw on to first in time for out number 3. So 2 strikeouts for Williams. No one comes around to score, even though 2 reached for Evansville. They still have a 1-0 lead, though, as we'll head to the bottom of the second inning on the Otters Digital Network. Second innings brought to you by J.E. Shekel Armor Protection. Founded in 1978, J.E. Shekel is the Tri-State's premier residential, commercial, industrial service and construction company. Samuel De La Rosa is leading off, then Tevis Payne, and then Corell Paz here in the bottom of the second inning. Garrett Simpson gave up a single to Booker. He advanced all the way over to third, but did not come around to score. As De La Rosa try to tie the game up for the Mud Monsters. De La Rosa, 22 years old. He was with the Cardinals organization for a good while. Signed a minor league deal with them in January of 2021, 140 games in their system, as well as the Braves organization. He got released by the Florida Complex League Cardinals on August 1st, then signed a deal with the Braves 8 days later, played 5 games with them, and then got released on October 8th, 2024. Then signed with Mississippi for 2025 at 293, and he's back here for 2026. First pitch called a strike, and it's 0-1. Now the 0-1 from Simpson. Swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 against De La Rosa, who's in a little bit of a slump so far. He's 2 for 14 in this series, and 0 for his last 6. 0-2. Little low and away. Sitting 268 this season compared to the 293 last year. 3 homers, 13 RBIs. 1-2. Low and away yet again on the slider, and it's 2-2. With the Cardinals organization, never made it past the Florida Complex League. He was there for a good while. Up until 2024, he hit 185. 3 pitches in the same spot for Simpson, and it's 0-2 to 3-2 here for De La Rosa. He has 19 walks compared to 30 strikeouts this season. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in this series. 3-2 is just going to miss for ball 4. So De La Rosa leads off the second inning with a walk. Nobody out. That'll bring up Tevis Payne. Now, Tevis Payne, 1 for 3 in his last 2 games. Overall in the series, 3 for 12. Brought in the go-ahead run in the first game of the series. Grounder to short, bobbled by Jones. He'll flip the second for 1 onto first, not in time. That was a fielder's choice, grounded into by Payne. As that was hit at 103, so bobble it short by Jones. You know, not his normal position. Not too much of a big deal. They do end up getting 1 out. And Payne will trade places with De La Rosa. Corell Pause, very much struggling. Last 3 games, 0 for 11. First pitch is going to miss a little high for ball 1. 0 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout, now hitting under 200 in his first 9 games. Payne over at first. Looking like he was going to go on that first pitch. He's covered over there. He goes now. Throw to second base from Dirksen is in time. Another great throw from Dre Dirksen, and Tevis Payne gets caught stealing. That man, Dre Dirksen, keeps on gunning down runners. And Tevis Payne is the newest victim. Grounder to second. First little opportunity for Marcos Gonzalez. He'll throw to first in time for out number 3. So, nice 1-2-3 frame after the walk. Dre Dirksen throws another guy out at second base, and the Otters keep their 1-0 lead heading to the third on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the third inning here at Trustmark Park. 1-0 Evansville has the lead. Still just that lone run in the top of the first inning. Otters will try to extend the lead here in the third. It's Amani Jones leading off, then Dennis Pearson, Marcos Gonzalez. Another caught stealing for Dirksen. He has now caught 4 guys stealing and has given up 4 stolen bases. So, very good at this whole catching thing is Dirksen. First pitch from Williams is high and outside for ball 1 when leading off an inning. Monty Jones is hitting .286, 12 for 42. Fly ball into center field. Moving to his right, Skinner, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Now, Williams was a Frontier League All-Star last season. He had a 3.48 ERA in 106 innings, and we saw that All-Star form back on Tuesday. He's been pitching well so far, just that wild pitch that has been the difference in this one, bringing Ponder home from third back in the first inning. He did give up 11 of his 41 earned runs last year against Evansville, including 6 on August 14th. Got 2 losses and a win against the Otters last year. The 0-1 to Dennis Pierce is a high fly ball into right field. Running after it is Tevis Payne. He has space, and he makes the catch, and runs into the wall. Now, Tevis Payne is looking like he's hurting a little bit out in right field after running into the wall. Is a good play from him. Good defense out there in right field, but he is a little slow to get up, and we'll see if the trainer comes out for him. A little hard to see from the viewpoint. He ran into that wall, and I'm sure the wall is not particularly cushioned too well. The Payne looks like he's holding the back of his neck. Maybe limping a little bit in right field as well. Coming over there is Fritz and Skinner, as the trainers will come out to see what's up with Tevis Payne. So we'll have a little bit of a delay here as we'll see what's happening with Tevis Payne. Marcos Gonzalez and Victor Diaz having a conversation. They're both from the Dominican Republic, so probably have a lot to talk about. Victor Diaz from Azua in the Dominican Republic. Marcos Gonzalez from Bani. A little bit of a longer check on Tevis Payne, and I think he's going to stay in the game. So Tevis Payne makes a nice catch, runs into the wall, and after some checking, just make sure he's okay, he'll stay in right field and stay in the game. So out number 2 recorded after the fly ball out from Pierce. Looking like we're going to get things back up and running here in the top of the 3rd inning. 2 outs, 1-0. Otters have the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Evansville. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for Mississippi. Gonzalez ended up getting his first test over at second base this season, and it was a relatively easy one for him. Now up here with the bases empty and 2 outs. Struck out in his first at-bat. Was the first of 4 strikeouts so far for Williams. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Williams, 28 years old, was born on New Year's Eve of 1997. See all those TikToks and Instagram reels from different teams talking about how you say what year you were born in, you say 19, and then they cut to like the ancient times. He would be a part of that group. You know what though? So would Logan Brown, so can't really say nothing. 2-1 from Williams to Gonzalez. Is called a strike, and it's 2-2. He was with Idaho Falls in 2024. Let's see. One of the few times he actually did some hitting. Only other time was back in his freshman year of college at Prairie View A&M. He was like a for real two-way player for Prairie View in 2019. So that one misses for ball 3. 8.5 ERA, 36 innings on the pitching side with Prairie View, but he hit .321 in 42 games. 12 multi-hit games on the year, had a couple of 3-hit days. 3-2. Grounder up the middle into center field for a base hit. Marcos Gonzalez hits a single up the middle. 3rd hit of the day for Evansville. And there's a man on first with 2 outs for Blake Robertson. So Gonzalez has now reached base in 14 straight games. Him and Ponder extending their on-base streak to 14. Robertson trying to make his streak 19 games this at-bat. Struck out swinging in the first inning. First pitch fly ball into left field. Kyle Booker moves back a couple steps and makes the catch for out number 3. Nothing much doing for the Otters offense in the third inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third, and Evansville still up 1-0 on the Otters digital network. Third inning brought to you by Precision Pest and Wildlife. Every great team brings precision to the field. We bring it to your home and business. Call 812-993-3341 or visit precisionpestwildlife.com. Let's elevate the standard together. A little update on the Washington-Brockton game. Washington did end up winning that one in sudden death. Eldridge Armstrong pitched a scoreless 11th. One of the newer signings for Washington got them the victory. As we stand right now, there are only 4 games left, and Otters Monsters the only one in the Midwest Conference. Quebec scored 4 in the 7th, and they now are tied with Down East 7-7. 5-4 between New Jersey and Tri-City. They're about to end. And Ottawa has beaten Twa in the Twadowa series, 10-4 in the 9th. It's Shelley, it's Reed, and it's Skinner leading off in the third against Simpson. 2 scoreless so far for him. First pitch called a strike. Shelley 4 for 17 in this series. He's had a couple of 2 for 4s, but sandwiched in between that is 3 straight 0 for 3 games. Quickly 0-2 here. Went 2 for 4 yesterday with a double. Went 2 for 4 on Tuesday with a double. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, back to back to back 0 for 3 days. So he's now hitting at a 260. 15th game of the year. He has a hit in 8 of those games. 0-2. A little high on the fastball. One, 2. Grounder up the middle. That's going to get into center field for a base hit as Shelley leads off the third with a single. So second straight time the Monsters have led off with a man on. Bottom of the lineup, Antrell Reed will step up, first time hitting. First at bat since coming off the IL. Hitting at a 209 this season, now in his 18th game. His last game was on July 2nd against Gateway, in which he went 0 for 3 with a RBI, as that's a foul tip. Gets past Dirksen, but is strike 1. Reed from Vicksburg, Mississippi. He's 24 years old. He's in his first professional season this year. Fouled away. Foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. And it's 0-2. Rantrell Reed was part of that 2025 LSU Shreveport team that finished 59-0. He's also teammates with A.J. Fritz on the team in 2024. Fritz left. He graduated before that 2025 team as Reed pokes one into right field for a base hit. So back-to-back singles leading off the third inning for Mississippi. As it's 2-on with nobody out for the top of the order in Braylon Skinner. Definitely the last guy you want up with runners on. Did get him to fly out to right field in the first inning. It feels like at any point he's going to drive in a run or three. 4 for 5 yesterday, 3 doubles, 2 for 4 on Friday. Overall in the series, 8 for 21. 3 doubles and a homer. Showing bunt, though, drops it down over to third, and tripping is Pierce. Everyone's safe, and that will load the bases. So Pierce might have been a little bit of a miscommunication there with Simpson, but he grabs it from third and is unable to make a throw. And even if he did make a throw, probably Skinner would have made it either way. Now Kyle Booker, a chance here to bring across more runs for Mississippi against Otters pitching. He's already got 18 of them this year against Evansville. First pitch. Misses a little high for ball 1. Booker singled in the first inning. Ended up advancing to third, but didn't come around to score. 1-0 pitch from Simpson. Fouls one off himself, and it's 1-1. So Shelley on third, Reed on second. Skinner on first as 3 straight singles have loaded the bases here with nobody out to start off the bottom of the third for Mississippi. Trying to tie the game. Go-ahead run is in scoring position as well. 1-1. High chopper over to second base. Gonzalez will throw to first in time for out number 1. Run does come in from third as Shelley scores. And the RBI ground out puts the game tied up at 1-1. So runners at second and third as both of them advance. It's Reed on third with Skinner on second. Chance here for Fritz to give Mississippi the lead in the third inning. Reed 90 feet away from bringing in that second run. First pitch to Fritz is fouled away. Well, at this point, I think it would be a bit of a victory for Simpson if he gets out of this, but the game's still tied up, especially considering the scenario he's in. Second and third with only 1 out after the grounder. 0-1. Lined right at second base, and Marcos Gonzalez makes the catch for out number 2. We've seen a lot of those liners to the middle infield for Fritz this series, and unfortunately he gets another unlucky one. It's good for Simpson. That's a big out number 2 to try and keep things tied up at 1. Victor Diaz flew out to center in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1 to start the day off. First pitch a little outside for ball 1. Diaz 11 for 49 now in his 14th game. Overall in the series, he's now 4 for 19. Still hitting in the cleanup spot. So that one misses low and away for ball 2. Diaz was in multiple MLB organizations before coming here to Mississippi last year. Hasn't gotten a pitch to hit quite yet. It's 3-0. Diaz only one walk this season compared to 8 strikeouts. There is an open base, though. Walk would load him up for Samuel De La Rosa. 3-0. That is going to miss high for ball 4. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Diaz. That will reload the bases with 2 outs. Garrett Simpson doesn't necessarily walk too many guys in his starts. That's 2 already, though, today. In terms of the walks, his season high actually came in his start on Tuesday against Mississippi. He walked 4. Only gave up those 2 runs, though. Doesn't strike too many guys out, but doesn't walk many as well. So he has 4 starts this season with 0 walks. 1-0. Outside for ball 2, and Dirkson's going to have a chat with him. Overall for the Otters, 3rd least amount of walks on the pitching side, 244 of them. Dirkson and Simpson having a chat at the mound here. The only teams with less walks given up, Washington and Schaumburg, and they're both pretty close. 205 for Schaumburg, 206 for Washington, and then a big jump before Evansville at 244. So those 2 teams not only 1st and 2nd in ERA, but also in least walks allowed. Two-0. High fly ball off to the right side. Running after it is Robertson. He's going to run out of room, and it will fall into the stands foul. No, 2 and 1 here. Almost an hour into this one. I had to check and see if we actually started at 6:01 or not. But definitely a later game here on a Sunday night, as most of the games in the Frontier League finishing up here. Fly ball into center field. Ponder is right there, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So run does come in. Definitely could have been worse for Simpson, though, as it was 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and nobody came around then. But a tie ball game, 1-1, heading to the 4th on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the 4th inning here in Mississippi, as the Otters and Mud Monsters tied up at 1. It's LG Castillo leading off again here. Castillo, Dirksen, and Lynn Scott facing off against Brian Williams. Williams so far, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. On the other side, Simpson, 3 innings as well, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Castillo struck out on 3 pitches to start the 2nd inning, looking for a little better luck here in the 4th. So far, Castillo is 2 for 6 now. Fights one off into right field. Tevis Payne will let that one drop in front of him, and LG Castillo has a leadoff single. A little bit of a late start in the route over to get the ball for Payne, so he just had to let that one drop in front of him. 3rd hit for Castillo against Williams. He does have a homer against Williams this season. Runner on first, nobody out, Dre Dirksen. His 2nd at-bat of the day, he walked, went 0-2 to a base on balls. Ended up advancing to 3rd, but didn't come around to score. First pitch just misses high for ball 1. LG, 6 for 10 on stolen bases. Decent for a guy who's 6'4". He has some sneaky speed over at first base. High fly ball into foul ground. After it is Reed, he has space, and he makes the catch running backwards over into fair territory, and that's out number 1. It looked like Reed overran it at first. Ended up having to go back into the coach's box to move Andy McCauley out of the way over there at 3rd, and made the catch for out number 1, and that'll bring up Sam Linscott. Linscott 2 for 9 against Williams this season after his strikeout in the 2nd inning. 1 walk and 2 Ks now against Williams. His first pitch. That one's going to get past Diaz, and Castillo will take second base. The 2nd wild pitch by Williams today. Tristan House leads the team in wild pitches for Mississippi. He's got 9 of them. Williams already with 2 today, and now he's up to 6. Pitch is a high drive into deep left field. Going back is Booker. He's at the wall, and it's off the wall. Castillo is going to stop at 3rd as he had a very late start. Trying to tag up in case that one was caught. He'll head into 3rd, and Linscott has a double. Extends his hitting streak to 11 games and gets his 6th double of the year. So Castillo was, just in case that one got caught, was ready to tag, so he only moved up to 1 base. He's at 3rd. Linscott's at 2nd. Mark Black trying to give the Otters the lead back in the top of the 4th. First pitch a little inside for ball 1. Mark Black already has a base hit today. Just punched one into right field over the head of Paz at first. Grounder over to short. That will bring in a run as Shelley's throw to first is in time. Castillo comes in from the back door, and the Otters have a 2-1 lead. Well, all we needed was contact, and that's exactly what Mark Black did as he brings in a run. And Evansville's on top 2-1. 19th run driven in this season for Mark Black, as he has been contributing offensively in both of his at-bats. Back to the top of the lineup in John Ponder. First pitch from Williams. A little high and inside for ball one. Williams now has given up 2 earned. He gave up 2 runs on Tuesday, but neither of them were earned after a couple of defensive mishaps on the side of the Mud Monsters. Fouled away off to the right side. It's 1-1. Ponder's now reached base in his last 14 games after reaching on an error in the first inning, came around to score, then grounded out to Fritz at second. He also has a strikeout, though, in 13 of his last 16 games. The 1-1. Little high for ball 2. Now, neither of these guys, Williams or Simpson, throw the fastest. Fastball ranging 88 to 90 for both of them. Still managing to be effective, though. At least so far in this series. 2-1. As Williams looks back to second, kicks and fires, and it's swung on and missed for strike 2. Ponder now up to 46 strikeouts. Second to Gonzalez, who has 53. Both of those guys, all-star selections, because they strike out a lot, but they hit for some average, that's for sure. Ponder's hitting at a 366, and Gonzalez at a 326 coming into this game. Two from Williams. A little high for ball 3. Evansville in total as a team, second in average right now. Only behind the Quebec Capitals, hitting at 304. Bottom of that list, the Gateway Grizzlies at 251. Payoff. Grounder up the middle. That's going to get into center field for a base hit. Linscott's going to come around and score. And John Ponder's first hit of the day puts the Otters on top 3-1. Hitting for average. We were just talking about it. And a perfectly placed grounder up the middle brings in Linscott from second base, and the Otters score 2 here in the 4th inning. Take a 3-1 lead. So Ponder reaching for the second time and driving in his 46th run of the season. Monty Jones. Runner goes on the first pitch, throw to second. Diaz hesitated, and Ponder takes advantage, stealing his second bag of the day. A little pump fake from Diaz, and that caused Ponder to sneak in there safely. And a stolen base number 25 as sums up a Ponder at second base. And maybe a buckle came loose. Monty Jones is struggling so far in this series, 2 for 19. Both hits came on Thursday. Couple looks back from Williams. He deals the 1-0 as it's called a strike. And it's 1-1. Monty Jones now hitting at a 283. This is game number 60 for him. He is the first Otter to reach the 60-game threshold. Popped up on the infield. Shelley calling off everybody else, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Otters bring in 2 runs. RBI grounder from Mark Black, RBI single from John Ponder, and it's 3-1 Evansville heading to the bottom of the 4th on the Otters digital network. Fourth innings brought to you by Sheet Metal Workers Local 20. For 138 years, sheet metal workers have led the way in sheet metal industries like heating and air, architectural, industrial, and more. Visit smart20evansville.com for more information. 138 years. That is, hold on. Give me a second. 18. Ooh. Math is clearly not my strong suit. 138 years. It's 1886? I have to check my work. Well, either way, bottom of the fourth inning, Otters have a 3-1 lead. Oh, we'll get back to you on the on if I'm good at math or not. Tevis Payne leading it off. It's Payne, pause, Shelley against Simpson, who's pitching with a 2-run lead for the first time today. Payne had a little bit of a crash into the right field wall. Thought he was going to get taken out of the game, but he stays in and now hitting here for the second time. Grounded into, or reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning, but got caught stealing. Called a strike, and it's 1-1. After further review, it's 1888. So no, I'm not good at math. I was close. I was definitely close. 2-1. What was going on in 1888? Not much, huh? There were what, like 5 teams in Major League Baseball? 2-1 is called a strike, and it's 2-2. Tevis Payne hitting at a 312, now in his 45th game. Hitting the ball well against Evansville, 308. Overall in this series, though, 3 for 12. Showed you how good he was being in Evansville when Mississippi came to Bosse Field. That one way over the head of Dirksen, and it's 3-2. Payne, 23 years old. He was at Mission College for a couple years, then was with Vanguard, the Lions, and then Houston Christian in 2025. 3-2 is down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Cut off out there by Mark Black. Tevis is going to try for 2. Throwing to second base is not in time, and Tevis Payne has a leadoff double. So third straight inning, the leadoff man has reached for Mississippi. And that'll bring up Correll Paz. Well, Payne with the double is now 2 for 7 against Simpson this season. First extra base hit against him. Second time through the order, Simpson, the OPS goes up from 676 to a 796. First pitch misses for ball 1. Could use some bullpen arms. There is an off day tomorrow before New York. It's 2-0. Pause from Ciego de Avila in Cuba. Not too many Cubans in the Frontier League, at least that we've seen so far. Usually, mostly everyone is either from Venezuela or the Dominican Republic who's foreign, unless, Canada. But does Canada count if there's 3 teams there? No, not really. Speaking of Canada, Quebec is looking like they're going to walk off down east. 7-7 in the bottom of the 9th. They have a runner on. Grounder over to first. Robertson will flip to Simpson, who tags the bag for out number 1. Advancing to third is Payne. And he's 90 feet away from a second run for the Monsters. Down east, Quebec, the only other game going on right now in the Frontier League. Josh Shelley hit a single in the third inning, has scored so far the only run of the day for Mississippi. Could bring in that second run, though, from third. First pitch from Simpson. High fly ball off to the right side. Robertson giving it a look, but it'll fall into the stands foul. Shelley coming off of back-to-back seasons at Tennessee Wesleyan in which he hit over 400, 406 in 2025, 410 this season. We already had that whole conversation about the Rougarou. That was if you had to be there yesterday. If you weren't, sorry, you should be here more often. I think it's a good time. 1-1. Now Mississippi trying to respond here after Evansville put up 2 in the top half of the fourth inning. 1-1 pitch. That one's going to get past Dirksen, and coming in to score is Payne. And I'll make it a 3-2 ball game. Now the wild pitch makes it a 1-run game yet again. Evansville still in the lead here, but a little closer for the Mud Monsters. Base is now empty, though, with 1 out. Now the 2-1 here from Simpson. Fouled away, and it's 2-2. So Simpson's now given up 2 earned. He gave up 2 earned on Tuesday, first start of the series. Two. Popped up foul. It's really crazy how far Garrett Simpson has come from his early season struggles. He had a 6.05 ERA in May, and it went down to a 3.86 in June, 3.24 so far in July. You remember that first start he had of the season against Washington on May 13th? He gave up 5 homers, and then he gave up 2 against Gateway, but since then, it's just been straight dominance from him. Which is why, like, the 10 homers he's given up feels a little skewed because of those first two starts. And of course, he did give them up, but he looks like a brand new pitcher compared to what we saw in those first 2 starts. 2-2 high fly ball into deep center field. Going back is Ponder near the track, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. Well, Shelley just got a little under it. That went 385. Stayed in the yard as that'll bring up Vantrell Reed, the bottom of the lineup here with 2 outs. Reed ended up singling in the third inning the other way, over into right field. His 15th hit of the season. First pitch a little high for ball 1. Now 3 for 16 this season against the Otters, after a 2 for 15 in the series at Bosse Field. And that one's into center field for a base hit. So 2 for 2 to start the day off for Reed at the bottom of the order. That'll bring it back to the top. And Braylon Skinner, only the 4th multi-hit game of the season for Vantrell Reed. Other 3, June 11th against Joliet, June 26th against Lake Erie, and July 1st against Gateway. Braylon Skinner is 1 for 2 today. Has a single in the third, a fly out to right in the first. Runner goes, throw to second, Dre, and they got him. Dre, he just keeps on doing it, man. Keeps on doing it. That one on a hop and a nice picket short from Jones, and that is out number 3. Mississippi's got to learn to stop running on Dirksen. We're heading to the 5th, 3-2 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network. Top 5 here in Pearl. Otters hanging on to a 3-2 lead as Dennis Pierce, Marcos Gonzalez, and Blake Robertson leading off in the top of the 5th inning against Williams, who's given up 3 runs on 6 hits in 4 innings pitched so far. Dennis Pierce is 1 for 2 so far today, singled in the first, flew out to right field in the third. That fly out to right had Tevis Payne crashing into the wall out in right field. He did end up making the catch, and he did end up staying into the game. A little delay. Now the first pitch to Pierce is going to be called a strike. Pierce, a little slump. He had that 5 for 42 stretch between July 5th and the 22nd a few days ago. Brought his average all the way down to 282, but he's had a nice few games since then. 2 for 4 on Thursday, 1 for 2 with 3 walks on Friday, and then a 2 for 5 with a homer yesterday. One here from Williams. Grounder down the third base line, foul. Nice snag by Andy McCauley at third. Andy McCauley is, by the way, not even close to the coach's box. He is so far back. He's in shallow left field. 1-2 is low and away for ball 2. So they're announcing on the PA the count because the bottom half of the scoreboard doesn't work, or it's broken here. I don't know what happened. It was working last inning, but it just has stopped. Not too sure what that's up, but what that is about. But either way, that one's fouled back. It'll remain at 2-2. The Otters so far in series finales are 13-6. They usually play pretty well in the last game of a series. Another 2-2 here from Williams. Shift is on for Pierce. Fouls it back, stays alive. We've seen a lot of this shift where there's 3 infielders on one side. We saw it with Logan Brown. We saw it with Blake Robertson. It's a very interesting play because a lot of the time, guys can hit it to the opposite field. Wouldn't be surprised if Pierce does it. Another 2-2 in the dirt for ball 3. Dennis Pierce will call his hitter's timeout. Only 1 walk today for Williams. That was to Dre Dirksen in the 2nd inning. Just like Simpson, not necessarily a fan of walking guys, 26 of them. Compared to now 63 strikeouts. Payoff pitch here from Williams. High fly ball off to the right side. It'll go foul, and we'll do it again. Williams leading the team in strikeouts. He is a very good innings eater. Another payoff. Another foul ball off to the right side. Foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it. And it is still 3-2. Quebec did just walk off down east. So officially, we're the last game. Hey! Standalone game, huh? It's always a good thing about a Sunday night game. Most of the time, you're going to be the standalone at some point. Fly ball into right field, heading into foul ground, and no one can get there as Paz and Payne both converge on it. Either of them can grab it, and Pierce will see another pitch. This is a very long at-bat here. A good battle here between Williams and Pierce. Pierce, 38 walks compared to 44 strikeouts. And either way, if Pierce wins the battle here, or if he doesn't, still be a very good at-bat for him, increasing the pitch count. Another payoff. High fly ball, that's fair. Definitely fair into right field. Tevis Payne under it, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. So Williams does win the battle, but Pierce ups that pitch count tremendously. Now up to 81 pitches through 4 1/3. That'll bring up Marcos Gonzalez. Gonzalez, 1 for 2, singled in his last at-bat. Struck out swinging in the first. Fouled away off the netting all the way back to the area between the dish and the mound. Well, Williams on Tuesday was very efficient. He was able to go 7 2/3. I think just from the pitch count alone, he is not going to be able to do that this time. Outside, it's 1-1. There is some movement in the Mississippi bullpen. No one throwing just yet. Everybody in the Otters bullpen is just sitting. 1-1. A little low, and it's ball 2. Well, now that we know all the rest of the final scores, Otters have to win to keep their positioning in the standings, as both Florence and Washington won today. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Otters scored 1 in the first, 2 in the fourth. They have 3 runs on 6 hits. Mississippi out hitting them, but only 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. They have 2 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. Shift on here for Gonzalez as well. 2-2. That one's low and away for ball 3. Didn't even realize the scoreboard's back and working again. I was looking at it like nothing ever happened. They got it back and working here at Trustmark Park. Mississippi staying here for 6 more against Schaumburg next week. Payoff pitch, and it's ball 4 as Williams has had a long pitch count here. Back-to-back full counts. This one not as long as the Pierce at bat, but he loses Gonzalez. His second walk of the day. And Gonzalez is on first with 1 out for Robertson. '25th walk of the season for Marcos. 4 for 4 on stolen bases. He's actually stole a couple of them, though, in this series. See if he wants to grab a bag here against Diaz behind the plate. First pitch, big swing and a miss for Robertson. 0 for 2 for him so far. Struck out swinging in the first, flew out to left field in the 3rd inning. Otters trying to extend their lead here. 1-run game. Never comfortable, even if they're in the lead. Williams taking a while, down to 1 on the pitch clock. Eventually does throw it, and it's called a strike. Williams is one of the slower working guys in the league. We saw Tyler Campbell, earlier in the series. He was speedy. He was very quick on the mound. Keep going and going and going. Williams a little slower. 0-2, ripped into right field. Tevis Payne is right there, though. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. So liner to right. 103 off the bat of Robertson, but to the wrong spot. So 2 outs now for LG Castillo. LG singled in the fourth, came around to score. Runner goes. Throw to second is not in time as Gonzalez steals his 5th bag of the year, and he moves into scoring position with 2 outs. Well, this is a amount of stealing we have not seen all season from Evansville. This is the 3rd straight game in which they've stolen 3 or more bases. As Ponder has 2, and now Gonzalez moves to 5 for 5 on the year. 1-0 to Castillo, fouled back. LG with his former Gary teammate on second base. Now, LG spent a lot of time with the Gary South Shore Railcats. 500th career hit was in last year with him. Overall, 336 hits with Gary. This is his 500th career professional hit on June 12th of 2025. Little high and inside, and it's 2-1. In terms of Gary's franchise rankings, though, second in hits, 336, second in games, 331, third in RBIs with 162, fourth in homers with 20. Two-one, big swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Before Gary, though, LG was actually with the Washington Wild Things for a little bit. 20 games with them, hit 236. With all the time that LG spent in an Otters uniform, it is very hard to see him in a Wild Things uniform. That'll be interesting when they go there. There's a fly ball into right field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Here comes Marcos from third. He'll score. And LG Castillo fights one off, a blooper to center, and the Otters have taken a 4-2 lead. So Dre Dirksen up. LG, his 2nd hit of the day, his 3rd straight multi-hit game, as he now has 18 on the year, and his 38th RBI. Otters up 2 yet again here in the top of the 5th inning, as Dirksen up with a man on first and 2 outs. LG dancing. There's a high fly ball into deep center field. Going back is Skinner at the wall, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Dirksen little under that one as he flies out for the 3rd out, but LG Castillo drives in a run. Otters back up 2 as we're halfway home. 4-2, Evansville on the Otters Digital Network. Fifth innings brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Bottomless apps are now here. Dine and only visit either Evansville locations, 5405 Pearl Drive or 715 North Green River Road. For details, get yourself some wings that are quite wild and of the Buffalo variety. Bottom of the 5th inning. It is the top 3 in the order leading off Skinner, Booker, and Fritz, but the Otters now up 2 yet again, 4-2 after LG Castillo's bloop single brought in Marcos Gonzalez from second base. Well, even though LG was missing some time after the All-Star break, that is still his 18th two-out RBI this season. And now Garrett Simpson will try to hopefully get the top of the order up. It's been a big task for everybody this series. Braylon Skinner leading it off. He's 1 for 2. Was up to end the fourth, but Vantrell Reed got caught stealing on another good throw from Dirksen. And a good scoop at second from Amani Jones. First pitch just misses for ball 1. High fly ball into deep right field. Going back is Linscott. That one's going to one hop off the fence. Skinner rounding second. He's heading for third. He wants a triple, and he's going to get there as it's a leadoff triple for Braylon Skinner. And it is still impossible to get this guy out. Fifth triple of the season, which now overtakes the team lead. He was tied with Kyle Booker, who's now up. Now a big chance here for Mississippi to bring it back to a one-run game. Kyle Booker, he's 1 for 2 as well. Singled in the first, but grounded in the third, brought in a run, though. First pitch is outside for ball 1. That's the 12th hit for Skinner against the Otters this season. Second triple. It shows you how fast this team is. Skinner has 2 triples against the Otters. Nobody on the Otters has 2 triples at all this season. Got 4 guys with 1. Marcos Gonzalez, LG Castillo, TJ Salvaggio, Trey Bridges. Check swing did go around, and it's 2-1. In terms of the rankings, though, Mississippi is second in triples. 14 of them. Well, now 15. 15 is going to put them ahead of Quebec for the second most. Tri-City has 18. They're a very fast squad. Tri-City is also leading the league in stolen bases with 147. Mississippi in second with 135. 2-2 here to Booker. Even though Booker gets a lot of hits, he does strike out a lot. He leads the team in strikeouts with 59. I just need some contact, though, to bring in Skinner from third, considering the fact that he is a very fast human. 2-2. A little high and away for ball 3. Walkwood put the runners at the corners with nobody out for Fritz. Payoff here from Simpson. Swung on a missed strike 3. A big strikeout of Kyle Booker, as that is out number 1. First strikeout of the day here for Simpson in the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Fritz, leaving Skinner on third for now. AJ Fritz, 0 for 2, flew out to right field, lined out to Gonzalez at second base. Fly ball into center field. Should be deep enough to score Skinner. Ponder will make the catch. Here comes Skinner from third. Throw's going to get cut off by Robertson, and a sac fly for Fritz has brought things back to a one-run game. It's 4-3. Well, always hard to not allow a run to score after a leadoff triple. Luckily, Otters still in control of the lead, though, in the bottom of the 5th inning. There is somebody warming in the bullpen for Mississippi. So Brian Williams' day might be over. We have seen everybody in the bullpen for Mississippi this series. First pitch missed for ball 1 to Victor Diaz. Bases are empty with 2 outs. That one's in the dirt, gets past Dirksen. It's 2-0. 0 for 1 for Diaz today. Flew out to center. Walked in the third. Only his second walk of the season. 2-0. Grounder foul just behind the plate. And it's 2-1. So Diaz was with the Astros, the Dodgers, and the Phillies between 2019 and 2024. Talked about him in his time with the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, teammates with Ben Petchke. Sounds outside for ball 3. Petchke's still on the IL, 14-day. Ryan Wiltsey on the 7-day. So hopefully, maybe we will get at least one of those two back for the series against New York. Fouled back, and it's 3-2. The 3-2, 2 outs. 1 run in the last 3 innings for the Monsters offensively. Fouled away. They're back to out hitting Evansville 8-7, but just down 1 in the runs column. Simpson trying to keep things at a 1-run game. He's given up 3 earned now. Another 3-2. Grounder over to short. Monty Jones' long throw over to first is in time. A good dig from Robertson at first, and that's out number 3. The RBI sac fly, though, for A.J. Fritz makes it back to a 1-run game. It's 4-3 Evansville as we'll head to the 6th on the Otters Digital Network. Sixth inning, 4-3 Evansville. Brian Williams is out there, but he probably is not going to last too long out on the mound, depending on how this inning goes. He's up to 96 pitches, and there was somebody warming in the bullpen, so we'll see how much of a leash Williams gets here. It'll be Lynn Scott, Mark Black, and John Ponder, the 8-9-1 guys, leading off here in the top of the 6th inning. The Otters have kept extending their lead, and Mississippi has kept pushing it back to a 1-run game, and that's where we stand right now. Otters scored 1 in the first. The Monsters responded with 1 in the third. Otters put across 2 in the fourth. Monsters put across 1 in the bottom half, and then both teams trading runs in the 5th inning. That's what makes it a 4-3 game. Evansville just having the edge over Mississippi so far. We did see an inning yesterday like this. the third inning. Both teams traded runs. The Otters ended up pulling away in the fifth inning. We'll see if the Otters can get another crooked number together, pull away, and get themselves a series win here in Game 6. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1 to Linscott, who is 1 for 2, extended his hitting streak to 11 games with his 6th double of the year. Ended up coming around to score in the 4th inning. 0-1. Check swing did go around, and it's 0-2. Now, Linscott hit .395 with Rocky Mountain. He was actually with Sussex County and New York, so Linscott's going to be facing off against his former team on Tuesday. Has kind of switched between the Pioneer League and the Frontier League in his pro career. Grounder over to third. Vantrell Reed throw on to first across the diamond in time for out number 1. So Mark Black will stand in for his third at bat. He's 1 for 2, singled in the second. Had a ground out to short in the 4th inning, but it brought in LG Castillo from third. Mark Black now has a hit in all 3 games he's played in this series. First pitch is called a strike as Williams is nearing the 100-pitch mark. Now Mark Black also has a hit in 8 of his last 9 games. And if we're being technical, 8 of his last 8 starts, because the one game in which he didn't get a hit was when he came in as a defensive replacement back on the 19th against the Thunderbolts. The 1-1. Mark Black hit .252 at Seton Hill last season before spending some time with the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars in the Atlantic League. Big swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Seton Hill had a great season last year. He finished 40-18, 21-7 in conference. They didn't perform too well in the PSAC tournament, though. Won their first 2 games, but then lost against the Fighting Amani Joneses and Fighting Joe Morrissey's, otherwise known as Millersville, as well as the California University of Pennsylvania. Got eliminated there, but then they made it to the Division II Regional, and they had some revenge, ended up beating Millersville 2 of 3, but then lost in the Atlantic Super Regional against the Fighting Dennis Pierces, otherwise known as East Stroudsburg. There's a lot of connections between the D2 schools in Pennsylvania and now Otters. 2-2 from Williams. High fly ball into right field. Going back is Payne. He's going back near the base of the track, and he'll make the catch up against the fence for out number 2. Well, definitely possible that Williams goes the full 6 here. He's at 104 pitches right now. That's back to the top of the lineup, though, John Ponder. Tries to drop the bunt down. It is fair, and Williams will throw to first in time for out number 3. I don't think Ponder knew that one was fair, so he didn't run, but it does end up being fair, so Williams does go through 6. He finishes with over 100 pitches for the 6th time this season. Led to the bottom of the 6th, Otters up 4-3 on the Otters Digital Network. Sixth innings brought to you by United Fidelity Bank, the experience you need and the service you deserve since 1914. Well, after this game, it's an off day before New York. New York comes to Evansville, plays a 3-gamer against the Otters. Tuesday, it's a $2 Tuesday, cheap stuff. And I know how much everybody hates spending money, so if you spend money, you don't have to spend too much of it because everything's cheaper. So show up on Tuesday, it's a 6:35. We have a 12:05 start on Wednesday, which is going to be some nice daytime fun in the sun. Who doesn't like a day game at Bossy Field? Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, where you can drink responsibly, of course. 6:35 then against the New York Boulders. And you should go to all 3 of those games, specifically because the Otters are back on the road next weekend against the Windy City Thunderbolts. So it will be the only time you have a chance to go to an Evansville Otters home game this next week. First pitch skied into shallow left center field. Samuel De La Rosa flies out as Amani Jones makes the catch for out number 1. That thing went a mile in the air. Exit angle at 62 degrees. I haven't used the exit angle a lot this season. I felt that time it was necessary, though. Garrett Simpson looking to go full 6 as well as Williams completes his. Simpson's only gone 6 innings or more twice. Schaumburg, June 12th, through 6 scoreless, and then season high, 6 1/3 back on Tuesday against these very monsters. Oh, 1 in the dirt, and it's evened up at 1 apiece. Payne's reached twice, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, doubled in the fourth, came around to score. Simpson is still looking good in terms of the pitch count. This is pitch number 82 that misses for ball 2. There's somebody warming in the bullpen, though, for Evansville. It's Anthony Tomczak. 2-1. Fouled away. Foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. And it's 2-2. Payne's 2 best seasons came at Mission College at .315 and .318, respectively, in 2022 and 2023. Mission's in Santa Clara, right next to San Jose, home of the San Francisco 49ers. Even though they're not in San Francisco, they are in Santa Clara. It's very far away from San Francisco. Fouled away. And I could say that because I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. Payne has a hit in 4 or 5 games this series. High fly ball yet again, this time to the right side. Lynn Scott waiting for that one to come down, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. Couple of very high fly balls here to get the first 2 retired in the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Correll Paz. Sun's setting here in Pearl. This is going to be the last time we'll see the Mud Monsters in the regular season. Playoffs still, in play for everybody, actually. Swing and a miss, and the bat goes flying into the netting. Mississippi, after the 3 straight losses, they're now 7 games back in the division as Schaumburg has just not stopped winning. 3.5 games up. Remember last week when Windy City was a game and a half up on Schaumburg and then they got swept? That's just how quickly things can flip in the West Division. 0-1 a little high, and it's a 1-1 count to Pause. Meanwhile, New Jersey is in first place now after they won and New York lost. That's going to be a tight battle. Grounder off the glove of Simpson. Ranging is Gonzalez. Jump throw to first is not in time. Almost a web gem at second base from Gonzalez, but Paz makes it safely on the infield single. Josh Shelley will stand in for his third at-bat. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the third, came around to score, and flew out to center in the fourth. First pitch from Simpson. Grounder over to short. Monty Jones flips to Gonzalez. 4 out, number 3. And the fielder's choice gets Simpson through 6. He is in line for the victory. The pitcher of record right now, as we'll head to the 7th. 4-3 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the 7th here in Mississippi, 4-3 Otters, as we have a pitching change. Brian Williams finishes his day with 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And he'll give way to Connor Langrell, the first guy out of the pen for the Monsters. He pitched all the way back on Wednesday, threw an inning, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He's currently at a 3.82 ERA in 33 innings pitched. He's given up 35 hits, 14 earned runs, but I think the biggest stat, the most surprising one, the one that'll make your jaw drop just a little bit, 4 walks to 31 strikeouts. So if there's anybody that absolutely despises walking guys, it is Connor Langrell. This is the 5th game for Langrell against the Otters this season. First pitch bunting is Amani Jones as that one goes foul. First season with Mississippi for Langrell. Last year he was in the American Association with the Lincoln Salt Dogs, then got traded to the Pioneer League to Yuba Sutter for Ethan Bates. Inside, it's 1-1. Monty Jones so far 0 for 2 against Langrell this season. One is in the dirt. Well, Langrell was with the YOLO High Wheelers. They were the same. It went from YOLO High Wheelers to the Yuba Sutter High Wheelers. Now they're the Yuba Sutter Freebirds. They're in a little bit of an identity crisis right now. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Monty Jones 0 for 3 so far today. Has a couple flyouts and a pop out to Shelley at short. Is getting under the ball so far today. Two from Langrell. Little low. Good take from Jones, and it's a full count 3-2. All 4 of Langrell's walks came in 4 separate games, so he has not walked multiple batters yet in an outing. Zamani Jones stays alive and fouls one back. Langrell spent 4 seasons with Newman, and then his last season was with Bradley. Newman is in Wichita, Kansas. His freshman year at Newman, he was only a hitter. Hit 159 in 23 games, decided, yeah, maybe I should do pitching. And now here he is in his 3rd professional season as a pitcher. At Bradley, his last collegiate year, he had a 2.25 ERA in 20 innings. High chopper over to first base. Pause will catch it, tag the bag, and that is out number 1. A long at bat for Monty Jones, but he ends up grounding out for out number 1. That'll bring up Dennis Pierce. Dennis Pierce hitting the ball well against Langrell this season. 2 for 3. A single and a double. Double was back on June 2nd, in which Langrell gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and got his first of 2 losses on the year. His other loss came on the 8th against Joliet. Gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, didn't record an out. High fly ball into deep center field. Going back is Skinner, and he'll make the catch. 108 off the bat of Dennis Pierce. That one a little too close to the positioning of Skinner, who is fast out there in center field. That's out number 2. Marcos Gonzalez, the 3rd man up here in the top of the 7th inning. 1 for 3 against Langrell this season. That one's high for ball 1. Hit a single on Wednesday against Langrell. Part of the 3 hits he gave up, part of the 1 run as well. Fouled off the mask of Diaz, and it's 1-1. Langrell's given up 2 homers this season. One was on the 8th against Joliet. The other one was on May 17th against Lake Erie. Langrell has not been pitching well against Evansville this season. He's given up 14 earned runs. 6 of them have been against the Otters. 1-1. Big swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. 4-3 Otters here in the top of the 7th inning. 9 hits for Mississippi compared to 7 for Evansville, but Otters still leading it by 1, as it's going to come down to a battle of the bullpens. Tomczak no longer warming, and with the top 2 in the lineup, Skinner and Booker do 2nd and 3rd next inning. David Eckes is in the bullpen, looking to get the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-2 is that one missed high. 2-2 fouled away as Gonzalez stays alive. This has been a good offensive day, though, so far for Mississippi, including yesterday after they only scored 1 run in 18 innings back on Thursday and Friday. Yesterday they had 13 hits. They ended up losing, but still a good offensive day for them, and now they already have 9. Low and inside, it's a full count. Langrell 2 saves on the year as well. One of those coming against the Otters on the 22nd, then the 12th against Windy City. Grounder down the third baseline, foul. Had a very good start to the year, Langrell did. 1.54 ERA in May. Went up to a 5.5 in June, and it's back down a little bit, but it's a 4.05. It's not back to where it was in May, but still better than last month. Another payoff here. That's ripped down the left field line. That's a fair ball. It's going to get all the way over to Booker as a wide turnaround first for Gonzalez. He'll get held to a long single. That's another multi-hit game for Marcos. Number 20. I'll bring up Blake Robertson. Chance to extend the lead here for Evansville. Robertson, some good two-out hitting so far this season. Shows the bunt, and it's dropped foul. We've seen a lot of bunts being dropped in the past couple offensive frames for the Otters. With two outs, Robertson's hitting .313, 15 for 48. The Otters are so good at hitting with two outs that the .313 that Robertson's hitting with two outs is the second worst on the team. Bunt down the third base line. That is beautiful from B-Rob as he reaches on an infield single. That is perfect placement from Robertson, and he gets himself a free hit. So back-to-back singles with two outs, and that'll bring up LG Castillo, who already has a RBI with two outs today. His single bringing in Gonzalez from second in the fifth inning. He's 2 for 3 today. So the bunt plays to perfection for Robertson. Moves Gonzalez to second base, 2 on, 2 outs. LG trying to extend the lead yet again, as the Otters have now tied Mississippi in hits 9-9. First pitch from Langrell. Check swing didn't go. It's called a ball low, and it's 1-0. LG now 3 straight multi-hit games. Has 4 3-hit games this season. Grounder down the third base line, foul. Those 4 3-hit games, by the way, all came in a row. Remember that insane week he had against Lake Erie back in mid-July, July 11th through the 14th. 4 straight 3-hit days. That was just 4 of 6 straight multi-hit games he had from the 11th to the 17th. Got snubbed of Frontier League Player of the Week. Time called, as it'll be a pitch clock violation on Langrell. It'll make it 2-1. I feel like we've seen a good amount of pitch clock violations in this series. Two one. Foul down the third base line yet again. It's 2-2. Langrell trying to get out of things here with a scoreless frame. Keep it at a one-run game. LG, though, he's been hitting the ball well today. Already now at 38 RBIs. The Otters have had 8+ hits in 5 of the 6 games in this series. 4 games in which they've had double-digit hits. If they get that 10th one across. Breaking ball freezes LG, and it's called strike 3 as Langrell gets out of things. His first K of the day, and we'll head to the stretch. Still 4-3 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network. Seventh inning is brought to you by Jacobs Pub. Jacobs Pub is proud to support the Evansville Otters in the Jacobsville neighborhood. Be sure to check out First Fridays at 607 North Main Street in Evansville, Indiana. David Eckes is into the game, mostly to face the top 2 in the order, but it's Vantrell Reed leading it off in the bottom of the 7th inning with Mississippi down 1. Eckes so far this season at a 5.02 ERA. He has pitched twice in this series already. 28 2/3 innings. He pitched a scoreless frame back on Thursday and then 2/3 scoreless on Tuesday. He's given up 27 hits, 16 earned runs, 11 walks compared to 33 strikeouts. He's not given up an earned run since July 10th. And scoreless in his last 5 outings this season. Overall, 17 of them. Things will start off with Vantrell Reed, who's 2 for 2 today. Two hits, 2 singles in back-to-back innings in the 3rd and the 4th. Shows bunt. Can't drop it down as it goes foul. Reed trying to reach on the bunt. Doesn't show it this time as it's called strike 2. 10 strikeouts for Reed so far this season, including 1 in his last game. Oh, 2. Fouled back. Catches up to the 93. Reed mentioned was with LSU Shreveport, was also with Hines Community College, which is in the area. He's hit .419 in 2022. Hit for some very good average in all of his collegiate seasons. The 0-2 again here from Eckes. A little high. In the undefeated season at Shreveport, he hit .378. 2024, he hit .387, which is the highest total he had at LSU Shreveport. So that one's inside. It'll hit Reed. And the leadoff man reaches here in the bottom of the 7th. Now back to the top of the order, and Braylon Skinner, who has been torching the Otters pitching staff yet again here in Game 6. It's going to be very nice when we don't have to face him again. 0 for 2, though, this season against Eckes. First pitch popped up into foul ground. Running after it is Pierce, but he does not have space. It hits off the netting, and it's strike one. Skinner 2 for 3 today. Flew out to right field in the first inning, but since then a single and a triple. After the triple came around to score. Eckes struck him out on June 21st, got him to ground out back on Tuesday. 0-1 outside. Reed is 4 for 4 on stolen bases this season. Eckes has given up only 1 earned run against Mississippi this season. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Bringing Eckes into the game to get these lefties out. Hopefully he's able to do so here in the 7th. No room for error as the tying runs now at first. 1-2. Fights it off foul over to the left side, and it will remain 1-2. Skinner, 45 strikeouts this season. Only 7 against the Otters. 3 in this series. 1-2. Fouls it off again. This time getting out of the stadium. It will remain at 1-2. That foul ball is brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. He's trying to make sure that we don't see Skinner again. Fights one off into left field for a base hit, and Skinner has another 3+ hit game back to back, as he's now 3 for 4. 4 for 5 yesterday with 3 doubles, and now 3 for 4 today. As the first 2 reach, now it's Kyle Booker with 2 on and nobody out. See what I mean? You see what I mean? He's just so annoying. You know, if anybody here is, following an MLB team, you always have that one guy on a team that just is so annoying to face off against. Sorry, Braylon, but you're going to be named the guy because you keep on doing this. Now, we'll say, Skinner, great player, definitely deserved to be an all-star this year. First pitch to Booker. Swing and a miss for strike one. Booker 2 for 3 against Eckes this season. Couple of singles, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. One for 3 so far today. Did strike out in his last at-bat. He swings and misses, and it's 0-2. Couple of ugly swings for Booker to start here. Eckes trying to get out of things here. Could possibly take him out, put a righty in after this at-bat from Booker. There's somebody warming in the bullpen for the Otters. That one's going to get past Dirksen, and both runners will advance to second and third. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position for Mississippi. This is looking eerily similar to what we saw in the first 2 games. Otters with a close lead. Mississippi just putting together hits and finding ways to get runs across in the later stages. Check swing over to third, and he did not go around. Called ball 2. Luckily for the Otters, they can't lose the series, and they have taken the season series already. It would be nice to get a victory here, though. Keep things at bay in the division race. That one's low and away, and it's 3-2. Walk would load the bases for Fritz. Eckes kicks and fires the payoff. Called strike 3. A perfectly painted breaking ball from Eckes, and Booker can't believe it as he'll head back with his second strikeout. First for Eckes, and that's a big out number 1. And that'll bring out Max Peterson to most likely make the change here for a righty. So we'll take a quick break. Eckes gives up a hit by pitch and a single to Skinner, but strikes out Booker, and making things interesting here is Mississippi. We'll take a quick break on the Otters Digital Network. Pitching change brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-4759-K. Anthony Tomczak is into the game. Had a bit of a rough outing against Mississippi earlier in the series on Wednesday. He gave up 2 earned runs, earned the loss against the Mud Monsters, looking to come back and perform a little better here in this second outing against the Mud Monsters. It's AJ Fritz with 2 on, both in scoring position, and 1 out. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Tomczak has a 5.68 ERA and 12 2/3. Has a chance to get out of here with a scoreless frame, but it's going to take a little bit of a tightrope act. Oh, 1. Little outside. And it's 1-1. That loss against Mississippi is only loss of the season. He gave up a season-high 4 earned runs in his first appearance of the season against Florence, but since then, he's been pitching well. 4 scoreless outings in his last 7. Two one. Popped up on the infield. Marcos Gonzalez will make the catch, and that is out number 2. Looks like they might not call that out number 2. Might have been catcher's interference because Fritz is heading over to first base. So, yeah, they will call it a catcher's interference. So, what looked like to be a perfect out number 2 is turned into a bases loaded situation with 1 out. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. There's a perfect opportunity to get out number 2 and get 1 step closer to a scoreless inning, but the catcher's interference has loaded the bases, and the error is going to be on Dirksen. That one's outside for ball 1. Victor Diaz is 0 for 2. Walked in the third, but otherwise a fly out and a grounder to short. One-0. In the dirt for ball 2. Nowhere to put Diaz. Walk would tie the game up at 4. Two-0 from Tomczak. Is low for ball 3. Not able to locate so far as Tomczak, as there's a big spot here for Diaz, a chance to walk in the tying run and bring up Samuel De La Rosa. 3-0. That is called a strike, and it's 3-1. Maybe a little confidence booster for Tomczak as that one paints the corner. Still a chance here to get Diaz out. 3-1. That is high for ball 4, and that will tie the game up as Tomczak walks in a run. In comes Reed from third, and it's 4-4. Still 1 out, bases loaded. Samuel De La Rosa. Chance to give Mississippi the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch is called a strike, and it's 0-1. De La Rosa 0 for 2 so far today. Has a walk in the 2nd inning, couple of flyouts. In dire need of a double play ball here. 0-1 is fouled away. 0-2. Strikeout would work too. Make it 2 outs and bring up Tevis Payne. The 0-2. Just outside. At 94, it's 1-2. De La Rosa still slumping. Still has not gotten a hit since Wednesday. 1-2. High and outside for ball 2. De La Rosa hasn't taken the bat off the shoulder quite yet in this AB. 4 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Mississippi. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Evansville. Trying to avoid Mississippi taking the lead back here in the 7th. 2-2 fouled away, and De La Rosa stays alive. The Otters are the only team that's had the lead today. Mississippi hasn't quite yet. They've had a tie game on multiple occasions. As just like the early stages in yesterday's game, it's been a back-and-forth affair. Two-two. Inside, and it's a full count. The Otters have somebody warming in the bullpen. Try not to walk another run in here. Payoff. Fouled back to the netting. De La Rosa stays alive, sees another pitch here, 3-2. Dirksen will come out, have a mound visit here with Tom Zach. We can't check the out-of-town scoreboard because every game's finished. Well, luckily, it's a quick one between Dirksen and Tom Zach. Tom Zach now 8 walks, 14 strikeouts. He's been struggling with the location as of recent. Also 2 walks on Wednesday against the Monsters. Multiple walks in 2 of his last 3. Tom Zach will step off. Trying to avoid giving Mississippi the lead back here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Time is called here. We're waiting a little long before we get another 3-2 here from Tom Zach. He stepped off, then De La Rosa called time. A mental battle here between them. 3-2. Fouled back again. De La Rosa continues the battle here. De La Rosa does already have a walk today. Only 3 walks issued by Otters pitching, 2 from Simpson and 1 from Tom Zach. De La Rosa walked back to lead off the 2nd inning. Another payoff. That is strike 3 called. And De La Rosa is down on strikes. Lower half of the zone for Tom Zach, and that is a huge out number 2 for the Otters. That's the 2nd strikeout this inning, looking for Mississippi. Now, Tevis Payne with 2 outs. Still not quite comfortable yet, but definitely a lot better than having 2 outs than 1 out. First pitch misses a little for ball 1. Zone's been a little all over the place today. 1-0 is called a strike. Payne so far today, 1 for 3. Has reached twice, doubled in the 4th, came around to score. His last at-bat, though, he flew out to Lynn Scott in right field. First time today not facing off against Simpson. 1-1. Just outside. 2-1. Skinner on third, Fritz at second, Diaz at first. 2-1 is called a strike, and it's 2-2. Tom Zach 1 strike away from keeping it tied here in the 7th. As Payne will call his hitter's timeout. Tom Zach has 4 games with multiple strikeouts, all of them in a row between the 9th and the 19th. Struck out 3 in 4 straight. Didn't strike anybody out on Wednesday. 2-2. Fouled back. And it's another battle here, this time between Tom Zach and Payne. Still no room for error. It's a great breaking ball that struck out De La Rosa. And another one fouled back. That time a breaking ball high and in that Payne just got a piece of. Still tied up at 4 here. Payne looking for that big hit. He got that big hit on Tuesday. Double that brought in the go-ahead run. Trying to do it again here on Sunday night as Tom Zach will step off. Tomczak 1 pitch away from keeping things tied and letting the offense go to work in the top of the 8th. 2-2. Fouled away again. And the at-bat continues here for Tevis Payne. 25 pitches for Tomczak just to get through 3 batters, not even 4 batters, because Payne is not done yet. Another 2-2. That is called strike 3. Another painted fastball, and Tomczak strikes out 2 straight to keep the game tied up at 4. So we will head to the 8th. Mississippi gets a run, but Tomczak keeps it tied on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the 8th inning. Somehow, some way, the game is still tied at 4. After Tomczak throws 2 fastballs down in the zone and gets both De La Rosa and Payne looking for outs number 2 and 3 with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th. So Otters a chance to get the lead back here in the top of the 8th. Tough task, though. It's Chris Barraza who's on the mound. After the pitching change, Langrell is out of the game. He finishes with an inning, 2 hits, no earned, no walks, 1 strikeout. Barraza's at a 3.82 ERA, 33 innings, 6 saves, but working here in the 8th inning, as he has given up 22 hits, 14 earned runs, strikes out a ton of guys, 55 of them, but is prone to the walk. He gave up 3 hits on Tuesday, his last outing against the Otters. 1 1/3 innings, 3 hits, but didn't give up an earned run. Got the victory on Tuesday, which is his 3rd of the year. It'll be Dirksen, then Lynn Scott and Mark Black, the bottom 3 in the order, leading off in the top of the 8th. Maybe Barraza trying to get a 8th inning, 9th inning work here, just to try and keep things tied up. He came in the 8th on Tuesday before the Monsters ended up grabbing the lead back. First couple pitches have missed, and it's 2-0 to Dirksen. 0 for 2 so far, a couple flyouts, also walked in the 2nd inning. 2-0. High fly ball into right field. Tevis Payne waiting for it to come down, and he will make the catch for out number 1. So 1 out to start the 8th, and that'll bring up Sam Linscott. Barraza, 26 years old. He's from Tucson, It was with Arizona, the Wildcats, for a little bit before getting drafted in the 10th round of the 2023 MLB draft by the Angels. First pitch is called a strike. And by the way, the 2023 draft is not the draft where the Angels selected all pitchers. That was back in 2021. That'll miss in the dirt as Barraza trying to fix up his landing spot on the mound. He slipped after throwing that one. He's only on the Angels for a couple seasons before getting released on August 7th of 2024. That one's fouled away, and it's 1-2. Linscott so far today is 1 for 3, doubled in the fourth, came around to score, but otherwise a strikeout and a ground out to third. Barraza has 19 scoreless outings this season, including his last 2, 4 of his last 5. That's into right field, and that'll drop in for a base hit. Linscott's got a 2-hit day. As the go-ahead run now on first with 1 out for Mark Black. Now Linscott, 15th multi-hit game of the season. That one fell in between Paz and Skinner in right center field. Mark Black stepping up. His 4th at-bat, he's 1 for 3 as well. Singled in the 2nd inning, had an RBI ground out in the 4th, and flew out to Paz in the 6th. He takes a big hack and a miss. It's 0-1. Barraza's given up only 1 earned run against the Otters this season. That was on June 21st, but he also threw 2 innings and struck out 5 in that outing. They're back to first, not in time. Linscott has stolen his fair share of bases so far this series. He's 11 for 13 now. Oh, 1. Runner goes, throw to second base is in time, and Linscott gets caught stealing. It was a high fastball, and Diaz, perfect throw over to second base to get Linscott for out number 2 here in the top of the 8th. So that will empty the bases for Mark Black. 1-1 pitch from Barraza is called a strike. A better chance here for Mississippi to try and get the lead in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 1-2 here. A little high. There's somebody warming in the bullpen for Evansville. Is most likely going to get the bottom of the 8th inning. It's looking like Joe Morrissey out there. Can't confirm that 100%, but because it's pretty far out over in right center field where the bullpen is. Swung on and missed for strike 3. First K for Barraza as he gets a 1-2-3. Gives up the single to Linscott, but he gets caught stealing. Led to the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 4 on the Otters Digital Network. Eighth innings brought to you by McMahon Exterminating. Remember, who can help with all of your pest control needs? McMahon can. New pitcher into the game is Joe Morrissey for Evansville, as he's looking to protect the tie ball game here, not allow Mississippi to take the lead, and hopefully the Otters can get the lead in the top of the ninth inning. Morrissey had a 4.81 ERA in 24 and a third innings, 27 hits. It's been the main issue for him, the hits, 13 earned runs, but he has only 9 walks compared to 23 strikeouts. Gave up an earned run in his last outing. That was back on Friday against the Mud Monsters. 2 innings, gave up a run, walked 1, struck out 2. Also pitched on Wednesday against Mississippi. Gave up an earned run there as well in an inning and a third. So both outings this series for Morrissey, he's given up an earned run, but he has to be perfect here if he wants to keep the game tied up at 4, as it'll be Paz, Shelley, and Reed, the bottom 3 for Mississippi, leading off in the bottom of the 8th. Paz is 1 for 3. Hit a single in his last at-bat, but a couple grounders before that. Bunt showed, and he was already running down the first base line when that was called a strike. It looked like there's some chirping going on from Mississippi's dugout over to Dylan Self, who's the home plate umpire. Also from the tens of fans here at Trustmark Park. 0-1. Chopper over to first base. Robertson flipped to first, is not in time, as Paz will reach on the infield single. The motion was that he was off the bag, but honestly, I think Paz made it in time anyways. So we called a base hit, infield single for Paz, and Josh Shelley will stand in his 4th at bat. He's 1 for 3 today. First pitch from Morrissey. Bunt showed. It's called a strike as he didn't pull it back. It's 0-1. Now Paz over at first base, getting covered by Robertson. He's 2 for 3 on stolen bases. Dirkson's done a good job at throwing guys out so far today. Caught Payne stealing, caught Reed stealing. So far, nobody else has attempted it. Called a strike, and it's 1-2. Now corner's crashing in. Dennis Pierce over on the grass at third, but now moving back as there's 2 strikes. Shelley calling his timeout. A chance to get a big first out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. One, two. Stays alive. Oh, with the game tied here in the bottom of the 8th, might have to start looking at extra innings. Otters are 2-1 in extra innings so far this season. 1-1 in sudden death. They beat Mississippi in sudden death already this year in that 13-13 game that we mention every single game because it's always relevant for some reason. 1-2. That is just outside. Count evens up at 2 apiece. On the other side, extra innings for Mississippi. That's a good question. Definitely have a loss in sudden death. We know that much. Grounder over to short. Amani Jones flips to second for 1. Gonzalez to first for 2. 6-4-3 double play gets the first 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and it clears the bases for Vantrell Reed. That's exactly what you need if you're Evansville. have the bases empty here for Reed, especially with those two at the top of the lineup, Skinner and Booker. So scary, man. They have induced fear into every Otters fan. First pitch to Reed. Fouled back to the netting. Reed's reached 3 times, 2 singles, got hit by a pitch in the 7th, and ended up scoring the tying run after the bases loaded walk for Victor Diaz. Mississippi 4 for 12 in series finales this season. So that one misses for ball 1. One pitch, grounder to short. Bobbled by Jones, no throw to first as Reed will reach. As that will be called an error for Amani Jones at short. Brings up the top of the order in Braylon Skinner. Well, that's the first error for Evansville since Wednesday. And hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him, as now Reed represents the go-ahead run with the top of the order up. Max Peterson coming out there, and we might see a lefty come in. We will have a pitching change. So Morrissey's out of the game. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. We'll take a quick break on the Otters Digital Network. Well, in the spirit of putting a lefty in for the top 2 in the lineup, Chase Cribble is into the game. Cribble pitched well back on Friday, an inning and a third, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, but he got his outing cut short due to he was vomiting on the mound. But that was his first time pitching in 2 weeks, and now he's getting a very high leverage spot here in the bottom of the 8th. Go ahead run on first, 2 outs, and Braylon Skinner up here with already 3 hits today. Cribble short sample size, 3 innings, which is why his ERA at an 18, as that one swung on and missed for strike 1. He gave up 6 earned runs in his first start, or his first appearance of the year against Sussex County back on the 10th. Runner goes. That one's hit into right field for a base hit. First to third is Reed, and he's going to get the stop sign there, as it is a second straight 4-hit game for Braylon Skinner. So now the go-ahead run at third with 2 outs. Braylon Skinner back-to-back 4-hit days. Dude is seeing beach balls this week. He might win the Frontier League Player of the Week. Win or lose in this one. Fouled off and a double hit as Booker hit that one foul and then hit it foul again on the backswing. 0-1. Gribble still a chance to get out of here, keeping the game tied up. 0-1. A little high for ball 1. Booker has struck out in his last 2 at-bats. He's 1 for 4 today. Still, though, always an opportunity for him to drive in a run here. He's done it all the time this season. Grounder over to second. Nice snag at second from Gonzalez. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. A run-saving play for Marcos at second base. And we will go to the 9th, tied at 4. A great defensive play by Marcos Gonzalez at second base has kept the game tied up. 4-4 as we enter the 9th. It is the top 3 in the order, Ponder, Jones, and Pierce leading off in the top of the 9th against Barraza. Otters trying to take the lead back and hopefully put Nate Wolgamuth in line for the save in the bottom half. First pitch from Barraza. Outside. Ball 1, Ponder so far is 1 for 4. Has reached twice, hit an RBI single in the 4th inning. Ended up giving the Otters the lead at the time. A little low, and it's ball 2. That's a good opportunity here for Evansville to get a run across in the 9th inning. Don't want to send things to extras if you don't have to. 2-0. Ripped foul off the roof and back onto the field of play. Foul ball brought to you by Hez Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. 4-4 here in the top of the 9th inning. It's been a close one pretty much the entire game between these two. Otters trying to win the series. Mississippi trying to even the series up at 3-3. A little high for ball 3. And Ponder looking to Possibly get a leadoff walk here in the ninth. Three one from Barraza. Fouled back right over the press box, and it's 3-2. Barraza trying to go a second inning of work here in the ninth inning. He's gone 2 innings on multiple occasions, 4 times this season. Hasn't gone more than that, though. 3-2. That is high for ball 4, and Ponder leads off the ninth with a walk. A good opportunity now. Go ahead, run over at first base, and it's a speedy guy in Ponder. Leads the team in steals. We did see Linscott, though, after his single get caught stealing on a good throw from Diaz, so I have to be careful here trying to take second base. Monty Jones 0 for 4. He is due for a hit. It shows bunt. So that one is going to miss high for ball 1. Another bunt. Trying to move Ponder over to second base for Dennis Pierce. Now the corners are going to be crashing in. Reed at third, up on the grass. Paul is still covering Ponder at first. 1-0. Bunt pulled back. It's a high, ball 2. Barraza struggling to locate it here to start the ninth. 2-0. Bunt showed again, popped up foul. Oh, just to the left of us. That was one of the ones that actually hit the press box. One of the windows over where Colton Martinez, the Mississippi broadcaster, is housed. A little lower, he probably would have caught that one. The 2-1. Bunt showed again. Drops it down the third base line. Reed, throw to first, is in time. Ponder trying to take third, and he's safe! Insane base running from John Ponder. No one was covering third, and he takes the extra 90. What a performance on the bases from John Ponder, and now he's 90 feet away with one out for Dennis Pierce. Well, all of a sudden, Otters are really in business here in the top of the ninth. Ponder's at third with one out. Pierce, one to the outfield, could possibly score him. First pitch from Barraza. That is low for ball 1. Just outstanding base running from Ponder. And that might put him in a chance to win it, as that one misses for ball 2. Also, a great bunt from Amani Jones. Nothing doing yet on the strike side for Barraza as he throws ball 3. Marcos Gonzalez on deck. 3-0 here from Barraza. That is crushed. Deep center field. Going back is Skinner, and that's over his head. It's going to one-hop off the wall. Ponder comes in to score. Dennis Pierce gives the Otters the lead in the ninth. Absolutely clutch from Dennis Pierce, and the Otters have taken a 5-4 lead in the top of the ninth inning. 16th double for Dennis Pierce as it goes over the head of Skinner, and now he's in scoring position with one out for Marcos Gonzalez. First pitch from Barraza is called a strike. Otters now 3 outs away from winning the series. The 0-1. Fouled away. And it's 0-2. Well, Dennis Pierce, safe to say that slump is over, as he is back to being the Dennis Pierce of old. 0-2 from Barraza. Couple looks back to second. Now he kicks and fires. A little low, a little away, and it's 1-2. Good take from Gonzalez. So Pierce, another multi-hit game on the docket. 21st of the year. Second straight. And that swing is big as any he's had this season. 1-2. Low and away. Now Gonzalez also 2-hit game today. 2 for 3. Chance to get some insurance here in the top of the 9th. 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3 on the high fastball as Gonzalez goes down swinging for the second time. Second strikeout for Barraza, and that's out number 2. That'll bring up Blake Robertson. Otters looking to clinch a happy bus ride home back to Evansville. A 4-2 series win. They're 3 outs away from doing so. And we will see Wolgemuth in a save situation in the bottom of the 9th inning. First pitch from Barraza. A little high for ball 1. B-Rob 1 for 4. Extended his on-base streak to 19 straight games with a single in the 7th. 1-0. Foul tip into the glove for strike 1. Well, Wolgemuth got the save yesterday against Mississippi. There's a 2-run advantage there. A 7-5 win. Trying to make it another 2-run advantage here. That swung on and missed. The Otters, though, even though they have lost 2 one-run games in this series, they're still 8-4 in one-run games. A 1-2. Swing and a miss. Another high fastball. Back-to-back Ks for Barraza for the 3rd out. But Dennis Pierce, absolutely clutch double, brings in Ponder from 3rd. And now Nate Wolgemuth will try to convert his 2nd save in 2 days and give the Otters a series win here in Mississippi. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 9th, Otters have a 5-4 lead as they look to win the series 4-2 against Mississippi and pull off a very big victory, a big dub, trying to go 39-25. And Wolgemuth looking to get his 3rd save of the season. Doesn't have too much room for error. It'll be Fritz Diaz and De La Rosa, so we are the farthest away from Braylon Skinner we can get, which is always good news considering the fact that Braylon Skinner is now on back-to-back 4-hit games. Either way, Wolgemuth has not allowed an earned run in 4 innings. Got his 2nd save yesterday through a scoreless frame. Gave up a hit, struck a guy out. Looking to get 2 saves in 2 days before we head to the off day tomorrow. Nothing better than a happy bus ride home, and 3 outs away from getting that. So AJ Fritz will stand in. His 5th at-bat of the day. He is 0 for 3. Did reach on an error, or a catcher's interference, which was called an error in the 7th. Hit a sac fly in the 5th, couple of flyouts as well. Pitch clock violation on Wolgemuth, and that'll make it 1-0. The Otters getting out-hit. They are 1-17 when they get out-hit by their opponent this season. First pitch inside, it's 2-0. On the other side, Mississippi went out hitting their opponents 21-8. A big shift here. Fly ball into right field. Lynn Scott's under it. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 1. So nice and easy first out in the bottom of the 9th. Victor Diaz. Diaz 0 for 2. Couple of walks. Walked in a run. Walked in the tying run in the 7th inning. If the score holds, Barraza will get the loss, and Chase Cribble will get his first professional win. Oh, popped up. Foul ground. Monty Jones calling off Dennis Pierce. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2 in the 9th. Mississippi down to their last out, as Evansville looking to win the series. It's been a quick couple outs for Wolgemuth. It all comes down to Samuel De La Rosa. First pitch is called a strike. De La Rosa 0 for 3. Walked in the 2nd inning. Struck out looking against Tomczak in the 7th. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Mississippi down to their last strike here in Game 6. Win number 39 is oh so close. The 0-2. That is called strike 3, and the Otters win. A gritty, hard-fought victory for Evansville as they take the series 4-2 here in Mississippi. An absolutely fantastic series win for the guys as they take a 5-4 victory. They're out-hit 13-11, but end up pulling away and winning it 5-4. Their 9th one-run victory of the season. For the first time this season, the Otters have won 4 straight road games. And, you know, we talk about the Otters, they lose the first game, and then they come back and win the next 2. This is just an enhanced version of that. They lost the first 2, and then they came back and won the next 4. So the pattern technically is continuing. The Otters win their 14th series of the year, their 6th road series, and they're now 14 games over 500, which ties the season high. They stay in their position, 5 games back of the division, 4.5 games up on Florence in the wild card. Overall, a fantastic trip to Mississippi as the Otters come in, lose the first 2, pretty brutal fashion, but they come back and take the next 4, and that is what makes this Otters team so special, that they are able to regroup after those 2 losses, come back and win 4 straight games. And they are now 39-25. Mississippi, on the other hand, they've dropped their 4th straight game. They're now 27-39, and that was a brutal loss for them, considering the fact that Schaumburg, even though they lost, they're still 7 games back of the division. So definitely a lot to think about if you're Mississippi. But for the Otters, it is going to be one heck of a bus ride home back to Evansville. We have an off day tomorrow, and then we are back Tuesday at Bosse Field against the New York Boulders. It should be a good series between 2 teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. Overall, Evansville 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. On the other side, 4 runs for Mississippi, 12 hits, 2 errors. They left 10 on. The Otters left 9. Nate Wolgemuth gets his 3rd save of the year. Chase Cribble, congrats on your first professional win. As on the other side, Chris Barraza will get the loss. Overall, pretty nice trip to Mississippi, if you ask me. Always good to come out with a series win, and even better when you come out with a series win in a 6-gamer. Now the Otters not only take the series, they take the season series. They finish 8-4 against Mississippi this year. So hopefully everyone enjoys the off day tomorrow. I know the Otters will, as we will see you back at home on Tuesday at 6:35 for everybody here. For one last time in Mississippi, I'm Evan Patoka. We will see you Tuesday for Game 1 of 3 against the Boulders.